One of the things that stood out to me in the book is that a lot of what the outside people see, people who are not embedded in the program, is the quote unquote sexiness, the glitz, the glam,
Mhm.
the success. But what they don't see is all that goes on behind the scenes in the dark, and the idea of the beating on your craft. And I'd
Mhm.
just be curious from John and Brett Haskell's perspective of, John, how you coach athletes to appreciate and love that process. And then Brett Haskell, how you come at it from a sports psychology or kind of psychological behavioral aspect, because a lot of it is about habit change. And we know, for example, like brushing your teeth and flossing are important, but do we do it every day? A lot of it is, we know it's good for us, but can we develop those good habits? So John, how do you teach it as a coach? How do you educate as a coach? And Brett, how do you teach it from a psychological perspective?
Well, that's a really good question. I think the way, first of all, I think they have to see how passionate we are as coaches coming in and working on the basics every day and the fundamentals, and getting them to understand. And I think it's part of our culture, getting them to understand is this is a lot of hard work. And one of the things that we talk about is we want to go from good to great to unstoppable. Well, the only way you can do that is to keep working every day. You're not going to go from good to unstoppable in a week. So, we call embracing the grind, or just, embracing everyday working. And so I think we have to set an example. We have to be passionate about it, and get them to understand this is what the great players do. So this book is a great reinforcement for that, so we can teach from that and talk about that. And I've used other examples with videos and other books over the years, but Chop Wood and Carry Water is excellent, in regards to planting that, idea in their head. And so, and it's not for everybody. And with the portal now, with people leaving, I mean, some people don't like that. They don't want to work that hard. They don't want to grind every day and work on, chopping wood and carry water. So they go somewhere else. And so you're going to continue to see more and more of that, I think, as in college sports, because it's so easy to transfer now. So it's not for everybody, but the great ones want it, and the great teams want it, and they enjoy it. And so again, it's just creating the culture and the mindset of our program.
I think from a psychological standpoint, we also focus on a couple of things. One would be motivation and commitment, and it takes a tremendous amount of focus to not fall into the pit of feeling sorry for yourself because of how hard something is. And so you have to have a really strong sense of purpose. And we spend a tremendous amount of time early in our athletes' careers here, and about probably twice a year, really talking about what's their why, what gives them a sense of purpose. And it doesn't all have to be the same. John's purpose in why he chases championships and grinds every day is different than what each girl's purpose is, and that's going to be different than what each assistant coach's is, but they have to connect with a deeper purpose of why they're spending so much time doing something. Because the reality is the end result, or the rewards at the end, are they're moments, and those moments are fleeting, and they will last for less than 24 hours, and then you'll be back at something else. And so really having a sense of connectedness to why I come in and do this every day. And then we make them speak that out into the world, like speak that out to your teammates. Sometimes we'll have exercises where they have to post things on Twitter or on their social media accounts, just to get them to hold themselves accountable for what they've identified as the purpose and the principles by which they're going to live every day in this program. And we spend lots and lots of time in them committing to that meaning, that purpose, their why. And then I think the second part is, and I talk about this in the book, is principles over feelings. And I talk about it in terms of, I talk about to the team a lot about behaviors are controllable, feelings are not, and feelings will come and go. But you can behave in ways that are congruent with your purpose in a consistent and controllable way. And so as a team, one thing that's worked really well for the volleyball program is to make a commitment to certain behaviors as a unit, And then like one example of something we do is they have, and this started a couple, like 3 years ago, John, I think, and it was an outgrowth of some team built workshops that we did, but they started writing their daily goals or daily purpose on the whiteboard so that their teammates could hold them accountable for it. It's out at practice every day. And it just is something to anchor their focus and their attitudes and down into their purpose, so that they can overcome the feelings of discouragement, the feelings of wanting to give up, the feelings of this is so hard, because it is. And we own that. Like, I think we talk a lot about this is not easy. This is, the path to greatness is a hard one. It's, what do they call it in the book, Brett? They say dirty hard work, right? It's not sexy, it's dirty hard work. Yeah. And I think we talk a lot about that. I don't think that we, it's not to scare them off, but it's to make them feel like that we value what they're doing, the investment they're putting in, and they have to be doing it for a good reason for them.